We began this journey in April 2008 when the City Council asked the Parks and Recreation Commission to consider the possibility of a dog park in Cupertino. A year later, the Commission presented a recommendation, and in April 2009, the City Council approved proceeding with off-leash facilities, fenced and/or unfenced in city parks. The Council voted to make the process of determining the best sites a citizen-driven process as opposed to a staff-driven process. Tonight, Julia will present the recommendations from the citizens group, and I'm sure you're going to hear other proposals as well. I want to point out that the recommendations from the citizens group are A, B, and C. Recommendation D is the staff recommendation. One final point, for some who think this has taken a long time, it took Portland 5 years. It took San Jose 3 years to get approval to build Butcher Park, Dog Park. It takes, as you will know, it takes time, but this community has actually moved quicker to this point tonight. So thank you, and I'm going to turn it over.
The last item was D, came from the staff, to continue discussions with a smaller appointed group to continue talks about unfenced areas. The citizen group had not gotten to full detail yet on reviewing all of the items for the unfenced area, unlike the fenced area for Linda Vista Park. So we're proposing we continue those discussions. Again, now I'm ready for any questions you might have.
Questions for staff? No questions for staff?
Hey, I actually have one.
Go ahead.
Julia, can you put the Linda Vista map?
It's back up, and we'll see it there.
It will be soon?
Oh, it's still cut, yeah. I'm sorry it's cut off for you.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
You should get a better view now.
So if I heard you correctly, you stated that this would be a fenced walkway here, this green?
It'd be fenced near the upper playground area and fenced over by the park course area.
Can you try yours?
It's not a continuous fence, it's a fence around those two park amenities.
So it looks like we're having technical difficulties, Dave, just a file. Okay, I'm sorry, I was so involved with not being able to light up the screen myself. It's fenced?
It will be fenced in the section near the park course and in the section near the playground, but it will not be fenced the whole length.
And the rationale for that is?
The safety buffer zone. So while what we want to test during the trial period is that dog owners will be responsible, but there is concern with the citizen group that we've had some behavior from dog owners that shows dog owners not to always be responsible. So therefore, if dog owners allowed their dogs to run off-leash from the parking lot to the lower area, they want to make sure that the people who would be in the playground area or in the park course wouldn't be jeopardized by a dog off-leash running, that they would be protected during this trial period.
And that could happen theoretically right now?
It could happen right now, but because we have a designated path from the parking lot telling people this is how you can access the dog park area, we're trying to do everything we can during the trial period to bring safety to the park users.
And if you can go back to the map, if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you. Is there, I'm trying to figure out, is that the most expedient way to get down to that proposed?
It actually is, because
area?
there's another path going in this direction, which is much longer route. And if we were talking for a while in the citizens group that if we did this path area, we would have to do fencing by this lower playground area. But what we were thinking then is people would definitely cut in this direction because it is a shorter route.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Other questions for staff?
My other question is, so there's this group outcomes, outcome A. Now, is this something we're actually being adopt rules? So it says A, adopt rules for use of watchless dog areas. Is outcome A the rules we're being asked to adopt?
Correct. And they're the rules that are on your screen right now.
Okay.
That are cut off right now, unfortunately.
It's page 2 of the
Page 2 of your presentation.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions about these rules. First are these rules for fenced or unfenced?
There are, for off-leash areas, in general, you can impose them in both areas.
Okay, so it says, so there's about four of them. I have some questions, but the first one says, only dogs, dog handlers, and those persons accompanying them are allowed in the off-leash areas. That would seem to me to be a fenced area rule, but if it's an unfenced area, now you're prohibiting the rest of the public from their access to the park, and they own the park. Why would you prevent somebody without a dog from being if it's an unfenced off-leash area?
The citizen group felt that for the safety of everyone using the park, that if we had a designated fenced area or designated unfenced area, whatever it might be, that wherever that designated area would be, they would want to make sure that the people who are going to be in there were the dog handlers or the dogs. And again, it was based on safety. These rules were put together from a safety perspective and recommendations from the City of San Jose, who's had great success using these rules, City of Morgan Hill, City of Milpitas, and recognized by the American Kennel Club.
So which other city has a rule if it's an unfenced area that no people can be there without a dog?
What other city
Yeah.
has that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can get back to you on that.
Okay.
The very last bullet thing says a postcard invitation was sent to all residents prior to the February 2009 community discussion. I don't recall I received one. I don't know how many people here have received one. We have not. It sounds like a citywide notification.
Yeah, we use the regular citywide notification process, which is a postcard that gets mailed out by an independent
I think
mailer.
I got one.
And we use the same. That was in February it went out. I don't have it now.
I might be wrong, but I don't remember I received one. Now, the next question I have is 15-4. In the middle part, it says, neighborhood and park user support must be obtained by the citizen group prior to staff full recommending this plan for 6 months trial.
Yes, that's what the recommendation says, that we would now, if the council says you can move ahead, then we'd have to go out and get the support from the area, the neighbors and the
Right.
users in that area. So we don't have that yet.
We don't have that yet.
That's correct.
Okay, so that was a question that's misleading.
Yeah.
I thought you already done so. And
It says afterwards. So
But you-
what the committee brought in was a recommendation that this is the place. Now, if you're okay with that, then we'll go out and talk with the community.
but you already picked the park without notifying the neighbor or talking to the neighborhood.
There were quite a few residents who live in Linda Vista who were a part of the citizens group.
What I'm saying is that before even gone to that point, designate 1 or 2 parks, should you talk to all park neighbors, not just 1 or 2? They should go Wilson or whatever, all the parks. That's kind of like, the process is kind of a little bit rewarding, not making sense to me. Okay, next question. And again, the last bullet on the top portion, so you will need to get the neighbor's approval too. Is that true? You need to get how do you define the neighbors if you said you need neighbor's approval?
You define neighbors by who lives adjacent to the area, and you also have to talk to the users of the facility.
So do we do like the building house, you have 1,000, 2,000 radius, immediately neighbors?
We probably would go 300 feet unless you wanted us to go more. That's a typical planning.
We don't only do 300 even for housing. How can it be 300? 300, you can't even get out of your park.
Then whatever you want to define, we can do.
But is that the requirement going to be? Even though if we, today we talk about, okay, move forward, next step, and then we still need to get the neighbor's approval?
We're not expecting 100% approval at any park, but if you get a majority
you
approval.
get a 50%, but you got to be, certain like mile or half mile
Sure.
radius, and then you're going to need 50% approval. And you're going to go through that process.
That's right.
We could talk later about
Okay, I just